Hi everyone, my name is Dévi and welcome to Book Connoisseur.
Wow!
I thought I would talk about some of my favorite books from the past few years. I made this channel I think in 2021 and then very soon after that I got pregnant and wasn't reading as much, so I didn't start posting videos until this year, and I thought I would just share a little bit about myself. I've had a bookstagram since 2017 and I felt like wasn't able to have the conversations I wanted to have on Instagram and wasn't able to share in the way I wanted to, and I really felt like videos might be the better format for me, and I'm so glad that I took the leap and did that this year because I find them so much more fulfilling than a little post with some brief information about the book I read. I just thought I would share some of my favorite books from the past few years, so you can get a little taste of what I like to read. So we'll start in 2020. My favorite book was Things in Jars by Jess Kidd. So this is a story about a detective in Victorian and London. I was gonna say Ireland, but because Jess Kidd is Irish, but it takes place in London. So if you like Victorian novels, this is a great one to read. Follow Bridie Devine as she is searching for a missing kid, and there's all these quirky characters in this book. There's a lot of magical realism, and I just loved it. It's everything I could want in a book. I absolutely adore magical realism. It's definitely my favorite subgenre. Historical fiction and magical realism, yeah, that is my bread and butter. I need to reread this book immediately. It's also so beautiful. And I freaking love this cover. I just read Himself in March, which is Jess Kidd's other book, one of her other books, and I really loved it and it had the same sort of magic as this one. So in 2021, my favorite book was The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois by Honorée Fanonne Jeffers. This book is about Eiley and her family, and it goes back and forth telling Eiley's story from childhood through adulthood and the story of the land that her family inhabits in Georgia and how they came to be there and what was forgotten over the years and what is still a part of Eiley's life. I really, really love family epics. If you've not read this, I highly recommend it. I know it's really long, but it was so worthwhile, and I really got attached to Eiley. There are a lot of trigger warnings in this book. There's sexual assault, drugs, slavery. My favorite character, and one I still think about, is her uncle Root, I think was his name, and he's a professor and just like this master storyteller. And yeah, this is a really beautiful book, and I'm due for a reread of this too because the details are escaping my brain. Yeah. It's been a while. And I'm skipping 2022 because, like I said, I was pregnant in 2022 and I really wasn't reading that much. I was so nauseous. So I barely read, I think, 10 books that year, which is just, for me, that's really not a lot. It's still pretty good, all things considered, but yeah, so I thought I would go to 2023. My favorite book was Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil by John Brent, and this is a true story of a journalist, John Brent, who is the journalist, going to Savannah, Georgia, and all the characters he encounters there, and even a murder mystery that happens. This was such a big surprise for me. I just saw this sitting on the shelf at Powell's bookstore in Portland, Oregon, which is where I used to live. And I thought it sounded interesting, so I picked it up and I just gobbled it up. It was published in 1994, so it's only a little bit younger than me. There's something really magical about finding an old book that has been around for a while and it's still so relevant today, and so I think forward thinking. There's this one character, Chablis, who I just cannot stop thinking about. I will always think about Chablis. And she is a trans woman who is just one of the most compelling characters I've ever read about in a book. And Fun fact, this book was made into a movie and Chablis played herself. It's my quick little review of my favorite books from the past few years. I'm definitely due for a reread of at least Things in Jars and the love songs. Please like and subscribe if you liked any of these books. I'd love to talk about it in the comments. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye!